Coaches, as you're filtering in here, we'll get started with a few things and then introduce and kick it over to Coach. First of all, thank you for taking the time to be a part of this virtual summit. Really appreciate everybody who's been a part of it. The questions we get are outstanding, and certainly appreciate our speakers and presenters as well. You have access to this till it ends, which we may have changed that today since there's been an extension on this social distancing around the country. But when it's over, if you want access past that date to 140 plus speakers that we'll have, you can do that with a donation to either Lawrence First and Goal, which is a foundation of John Luce, Army's defensive coordinator. It's for pediatric brain tumor research. And then the other option is for Sean Payton's Play It Forward. And obviously he's somebody who had COVID-19 as well. So appreciate everybody taking the time. As I said, John's joined me before on the Coaching Coordinator podcast that I do over at USA Football while he was the head coach at Greenwich, Connecticut, multiple state champion. He's done a great job over there. And now he's with Arizona. Just a quick thing on USA Football for the high school coaches out there. USA Football has put together the football development model, which is designed basically to do the heavy lift for you in building your youth program. So everything from coaching progressions to an app that helps your coaches plan practice, to all the things they would need to know as far as coach education, drills, progressions, how to practice plan. We have all those resources for them at usafootball.com. Click on the resources tab, football development model. So without further ado, I will turn it over to the assistant quarterbacks coach, offensive analyst, and quality control coach at the University of Arizona. He's going to be speaking to you today about teaching run screen options and run pass options and how to implement those into your offense. So Coach, take it away, your show.
I appreciate it, Keith. You do a tremendous job educating a lot of coaches across the country at all levels, and I want to thank you for having the opportunity to talk on here, and wishing everybody who's listening and beyond, health and happiness, and through trying times, some positives can definitely come out of it, and coming together as one to talk about football is one of those times. So thank you guys for being here. I am going to go in order of kind of a presentation and film. Anything that I don't get to, or if you guys have questions, I'm going to try to answer them as they come along. But if we don't get to something, please feel free to contact me. My email address got cut off down here. I will share it towards the end of the presentation. So we're talking about how to implement RPOs and RSOs into your offense and taking it to another level. So as a former play caller prior to being at Arizona, I tried to kind of separate what an RSO is versus an RPO. And I'm going to go into that in a little bit. So some of my background here, I was a office coordinator where my dad's actually the head coach. He's going to his 40th year this year. From 09 to 14. We had a lot of success there. I ended up going to Greenwich High School, one of the largest high schools in the state of Connecticut. And last year there in 18, we ended up winning a state title. And I'm now here as a offensive analyst, quality control. So I've been coaching for 11, 12 years now, and all throughout college as well. All of that time we were running versions of the RPO RSO system from 2009 on. A lot of this stuff is based on what we do. So how you practice and implement it is, and we look back in 2018 and we said, okay, well, we threw the ball 392 times. What are we practicing? So we wanted to go through and list some of the things, by category of what we were running. And so of all 392 pass attempts, we threw an RPO 110 times. And so going back to our practice plans and seeing what we were putting our emphasis and focus into, we really wanted to make sure that we were practicing things that we were running. Of our running plays, we tagged 148 runs, or 169 runs versus 148 untagged runs. And that's only important for the next slide, which I'll explain. But about 40% of our offense, whether it was a give or a throw, was an RPO, RSO type of play. So that should have been emphasized in our practice plan, which it was. So these are just some stats, and it's always nice to go back and self-scout at the end of your season to see what you've been focusing on in practice and to see if it translates to your play calling in a game. So when we tagged a run, in other words, we had an RSO, RPO called, and we handed the ball off, we averaged almost a yard more when we didn't tag an RPO and RSO. And there's a lot of data to support that. So what it tells me is we need to be tagging almost all of our runs if we're going to average an extra yard for every single time we do it. We were 11 TDs, 70 completion percent on RPO, and we only threw one interception. So obviously we're very successful there. And so 23 total touchdowns when there was an RPO or RSO, and we averaged 5.9 yards per play. So if we're emphasizing it, this is the kind of stats that you want to see, at end of the season analysis. So why run RPOs? Obviously, you can do it out of unlimited formations. Practice makes it more fun. You have balls all over the field. With the trained quarterback, you can always put
the RPO fad has not ended. Still trending in RPOs.
Yep.
And if you look at what we did with the virtual summit, over 140 speakers, a ton. In fact, 2 right now as I'm sitting here on the RPO game. So defenses still have to defend it, and you have to think about those things. And of course, right now it's like getting to be a matter of who has the chalk last, but execution an important part of that. Talk to us a little bit about your thoughts on defending the RPO.
Well, I think I go into a later slide, but it's the triple option. Yeah, it's the triple option type of deal, except it's really more than triple. So you defend it, and you're trying to separate yourself from, I think you have man RPOs, and I think you have zone RPOs. And so you're trying to find space with the zone, and you're trying to build it. But, defense is now with the offense should be able to dictate how the defense is going to align, I think, whether you're doing that with shifts, motions, condensed formations, wide formations. I think to line up in the same splits and to do things week to week the same. The run schemes and your pass, and all those things should stay the same. But I think you can keep defenses guessing by just shifting, motioning, and playing with your splits to condense to wide to regular. I think that makes it very hard for defense to prepare. You almost have to make adjustments on the fly and holding things back from one week to the next. And running the same schemes and routes, you're just teaching spacing differently with these different splits, to answer your question. And obviously they have to play, and they have to play assignment defense just like you were playing the option, because right now they have to blitz smart, because if they're some teams like to blitz themselves out of trouble, and when they do that, there is the ability to hit a slant route, an easy pass over the middle for an 80-yard gain. And so I think defenses have now been trained they have to blitz smart, as opposed from just blitzing all over the field.
Because a big part of what you're doing with that is how you use your safeties, correct?
Yes, a big part of that is how they fit in the run game, the leverage of the corners, whether he's into the boundary, to the field, and balls in the hash. Are they playing with a clouded corner with him in run support and playing more of a cover 6 or 2? So I think, it's really, and depending on what runs you're matching your RPOs with, will help determine. If you're a big outside run team, it's going to give teams a lot of flexibility to play with a hard corner or clouded corner for run support, which makes it a little bit harder to run into the boundary. And if you're a downhill run team, I think that's where you have to have your RPOs mixed and match with your run game. If you're running outside heavy or inside heavy, to manipulate what the defense is trying to do to stop your running play. And obviously, I think what at the high school level, what we saw a lot was, especially from unfamiliar opponents, was cover 1 or cover 0, and they're going to try to take you away by putting another guy in the box and rushing your quarterback and playing that press 0 to take it away. And that's when coaching comes into it and being positive with your kids, and they need to be excited when they see press man 0, and it has to have a game plan for that as well. So all that stuff is great. So how we word it, this is just schemes in a run game. So, we have zone man schemes, pin pull, all this stuff should, almost, these are just run categories basically. And how we do it is we take our reads where we're reading a defensive lineman, and we separate those running plays from when we're blocking all the defensive linemen and we're leaving a linebacker or safety unblocked. And then we've taken our RSOs and kind of put them in that we're reading a D tackle, and we're taking our RPOs, we're throwing across the line of scrimmage, where we're reading linebackers. So now the quarterback knows based on the call, whether it's an RSO or RPO, if he gets an RPO tag, he knows that he is getting blocking. We're blocking all of the down linemen. Versus if he gets a screen, an RSO, we know he knows that he's reading one of the down linemen. We're not blocking based on the run scheme. So that's the difference mainly there, is that we had categorized our RPOs into S words. Any type of S word means that the quarterback has blocking. Go ahead. I can't see the Q&A. I see that there's a bullet there, but I just can't see it. Anyways. So by leverage of the defense, the wide receiver running an RPO can cut the route short of its breaking point to get open and go into the next slide. And what I mean by that is we have, we have our S words. These are all.
You mentioned the guy you used to work against or work with, I should say now, that's from Missouri, Lucas Luters. Looking at that, maybe, I guess I'm looking for insight on how he approached that, those third levels. When I talk to guys, and the little we used it was really more of, we call them pass run options, that if we're calling those, we saw some kind of reaction out of that third level player which made us believe it was the right time to call that. We just kind of had to fail safe in it, though, as if he didn't bite on the run like we expected, we could give that ball back. So any thoughts or insight, I guess, you gained from, Lucas, who does those kind of things. By the way, he's an upcoming guest here on the podcast as well.
Yeah, third level reads, and that's built into your, the run scheme that you're calling. So for us, rely heavily on kind of what we already discussed, that the clouded corner or the split safeties with the rotation and see which one's down. But really, it depends on the defense that you're playing that's going to give you that read or not. And a lot of teams that play a lot of 3-week or buzz week or 4 joker where they're holding that safety and he's a run fit player first, that's when you kind of want to get outside of him around him. That's where the front side RPO gets into play, where now it's like quick game on one side and you have your RPO RSO on the other side. So you're reading a third level to the same side as the run play, versus now it's a post snap read on the back side, which also we get into. So, and how we do that is the pass game column, word association, that's our quick game. Those are definitive, either steps or yardage for each route. And then for S words, for RPOs, it's the same. These are the same routes. We just named them all with S words. So the receivers know that it's an RPO, which means that if they had, smoke, it's the inside wide receiver has a 3-step slant. Well, based on the leverage of the defense, if he gets pressed right now, he can run a 1-step slant. And that was built to marry the quarterback's mesh with the defense being played. Because typically if you're getting pressed down there, you're getting something off the edge. And we didn't want the quarterback to have to ride it, come up, and have someone in his face. And we wanted to be able to mesh together. So these guys have the ability with S words to break off their route.
You mentioned a little bit of different ways you could do it. A practice standpoint, anything that, you guys now work that has become part of the drill progression. Of course, you can work it in team and, certain group periods, but more as far as things you work on technique-wise or key-wise that you're working it in more of an individual or maybe small group part of practice?
Yeah, I think, individual periods for us are really slow. We want to be able to teach the footwork of the quarterback. The first thing is the running backs and the quarterback's mesh work. And then it's being able to, specifically with the quarterback, getting comfortable with the receivers on these patterns, because the ball should be out on the break. So a lot of it's routes on air, but a lot of it with the quarterbacks is taking the footwork from kind of a 50% to 75% speed and really emphasizing where they're supposed to be, because it's still a running play and their footwork is designed to match the running play. And we don't want to ruin, the insertion of the back and where he's supposed to do and what he's reading. and also getting those backs comfortable with when the quarterback's riding it and giving it, riding it and pulling it, or it's just a quick down and back up to throw it. He's got the look he wants, and he just wants to give the linebackers a little bit of a pause by just putting the ball down and coming up and throwing it. So those are key, and those are daily in practice. So as we move on, so the different animals, we treat the RSO game different than the RPO game, and I think you need to. And I think because the running backs footwork and the quarterbacks reads are totally different. And so for RSOs, we're trying to get a box count. We're looking for numbers. And I have film to go into this later, but it's really a dual read where we're reading a down lineman based on the running scheme. And then after we pull the ball, now we get our eyes on our secondary read, which would be a linebacker or that third level safety that buzzed down to the flat. But he is your throw read or keep read after you've already pulled the football. So we give, keep, and throw. That's
was waiting for Coach to finish right. All right, I'm all right. All right, we're good. All right, no, I'm good. Our editor will clean that up. Sorry, Chris Sharp. All right. So from there, I guess this is a good point to figure out the next part we're doing here. So anything else on RPO that we want to touch on here? Are we ready to talk about unbalance? Okay.
Oh, sorry, I think he's on the call. Sorry. So give, keep, throw.
Chris,
and obviously when it's
here on this question.
We want to hand the ball off.
Because we talked about another thing that offenses are trying to do to stress the defense, and it's something that teams went away from the huddle. They did this less and less, but you're seeing it make its way back into offenses, regardless of huddle or no huddle, is unbalanced, right? The whole idea that we're going to put an extra lineman on the side of the ball, we're going to move the gaps, we're going to force you to think about how you're going to adjust your front. So how have you been dealing with unbalance?
Well, we always have unbalanced sets in. There are always usually tempo words and plays that we try to get another, whether it's moving people around or putting receivers on or off the line of scrimmage based on the formation, just to try to get a quick play where defenses can't really adjust to it. I think if you give defenses time to adjust, that's obviously a disadvantage. So for us, they're tempo plays, and we try to get into them as much as possible, especially when you have some really good defensive linemen that you got to keep them guessing. Those are typically the sides we like to be unbalanced to, or we make them the read for the quarterback. So now, you got a guy who's a really good defensive lineman. He's used to being blocked almost every single play. Well, now make him your read on the backside of the unbalance, and that's how we kind of look at it. And that's our thought process of it. Some of the drills that we do for RPOs, it's just, again, this is individual period. We're going nice and slow, just reading and trying to hit spots. I'm not going to get into this too much today. If you guys want any of this film, happy to send it out to you. Then from there, we get into spots. So we have our gift throws on the left. That's why it's 5 yards past, and that's our slant throw. And again, always down. They're always in between hurdles, and we're trying to keep them in the same area of the field. So the last clip, you saw him on the hash. Now he moved the ball to the middle of the field to create a little bit more space. And again, it's just nice and easy throwing. This is a great drill we do with understanding the run pull read. So they have the gift throw, so they're going to catch the ball, right? That's the gift, so they're avoiding the run. That's the front side RPO right there. And then they go through it, they pull it, and then they're going to throw off of that outside linebacker. The next clip kind of does it better. It's rolling. But here it is off of it. Now we're going to throw off of it, and that's how we drill it and follow the ball and try to avoid a hit. So it's almost like you're teaching triple option where you're trying to follow your pitch. So there's the fake off the conflict defender. And this guy here has the ability to expand out to make the quarterback keep it, or attack the quarterback and make him throw it. So that's the progression of the drill that we try to get to. Then obviously we always have to practice bad handling, not just bad snaps, but we got to get that ball out. So one of the things that we've emphasized is just nice little drop here by the coach, and then we're just trying to get the quarterbacks to just get the ball up and throw with or without the laces. So they're used to that quick twitch motion that comes with these RPOs and RSOs. They just go through, hands behind their back. They just got to catch it and throw it with or without the laces. And we'll get into some film here. So RSOs, you know, some of the greatest things about the RSO, obviously, is that dual read. Where now you're basically, we're leaving these two guys unblocked, and we're having our linemen push for the most dangerous men. So if he were to attack the ball, if he would attack the running back, we're going to keep it. Now that's where that drill comes off of, and this is one of the ways that we can run RPOs. So that's what it looks like, you know, in a drawing. And then going to the other side there, it's the same type of read. To the other side, you have your down tackle, who's our primary read, then you have our dual read here. At the same time, we all have.
So who's in charge of that trouble period as far as the guy on the staff? Who scripts that up?
That would be, you know, the quarterback coach and me, obviously, right? So, you know, we have more supplies and everything, and I know that for some coaches that can't. I use injured players to catch the ball, and then I would be the coach. You know, as the coach, I wanted to make sure that they were definitive with their decision making. So if I attacked the wide receiver, I wanted him to tuck the ball and run downhill and get yards and not waste movement. And if I I would approach him and I wanted to see him follow his throw. So as the coach, I like to be the guy doing it so I can see how definitive they are in their decision making, even when it's not full speed. So here, the yellow box is what's called the surface, right? So before you even get to the dual read, the surface right here. This guy
reminds me a little bit. It took hold, I don't know, for maybe 2 years at the high school level, probably about, let's call it 9-10 years ago with that 8-11 offense. It got outlawed because they didn't let you use the scrimmage punt formation, some kind of rule with that. They changed it to kind of outlaw this kind of football, but you're back to it. That's the exact thing, like trying to figure out who's eligible or not on this thing. And, you know, that's where it becomes tricky. So, you know, I love that idea of having a trouble period. I can remember teams we've had, it was just, you know, a lot of it would be more of a walkthrough, but, you know, getting those things live on the field, making guys adjust. I mean, your description of everything that could happen on in no huddle and where you guys could, you know, bust the defense, you sold it to me. I mean, if there's offensive coordinators, they're putting it in right now because of how you describe that, Coach.
Yeah, and I think it's, you know, part of just getting our guys in space and understanding where they're supposed to do with the ball after they have it in their hands and they've escaped the pocket. So I think, you know, obviously This is good. The surface read, obviously, is a pre-snap. We call this the pre-snap read. If we have numbers right now for screens, we're just going to throw the ball right now and avoid the quarterback. And we'll get to some film right now. You know, so the first thing, you know, we like to do with motion, this is a great example of our drill. Right now we have tear motion. We have a keep read from the quarterback. So now he's going to attack that conflict defender. That conflict guy is at the top of the screen. He's outside, so the quarterback should just tuck it. Now he comes back inside, so he can even throw when he's past the line of scrimmage because the screen player is taught, just like option football, to stay back. You know, and we're getting positive yards there, 5-yard gain. That's exactly how we want that drill to be right there. It's just attack the ball, attack the line of scrimmage, and come down after the pull read. So it's really nicely done on the quarterback's part, as you see, puts the ball in play, leads the running back down inside to the A-gap on his own play. He pulls it. I wish he was a little bit tighter there, but I think he knows that he wants to throw it after that guy falls off. And there's where you have the space. And obviously you want your guys to use the field and get outside.
Yeah, certainly.
And one of the things that we always talk about when we start it is the running back.
And that's all they're trying to do, right? That they just want to try to get you off guard. Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things that you have to do when you're teaching your quarterbacks is, well, what happens when your quarterback pulls it like this, but all of a sudden he gets spooked and doesn't throw it. So a drill that you guys should always do is follow the running play. It's called the trouble drill. Really, you know, Keith was just talking about it, but follow the running play. So right now he comes up, he wants to throw it. He doesn't know if he can fit it through that window. So follow the running play on his zone read pattern. Another one here. This is a really good job by the quarterback. He comes up, he's got edge pressure. He pulled it, made a bad mistake, can't get the ball out. Follow that.
Speaking of trouble, have you seen anything this year that maybe is beginning to trend? I know I saw a ton of shallow cross mesh. We saw more and more of the no puller screens. So they're running a shallow behind the line or like an angle route behind the line. The receivers are releasing like they're on their stem and then turn into blockers. Lines pass blocking and they throw the ball underneath and there's all kinds of space. That's one I actually just watched a clinic this morning on it. But anything along those lines, I guess stuff that you've started to see that, you're looking at maybe different things in your research to account for.
Yeah, I think crossing routes are definitely back in fashion. Especially now it's more, I think, split field kind of concepts where you're giving quarterbacks time because defenses have caught on, and I think now you got to give quarterbacks quick reads. So I think quick game wise, they're definitely trending. It's split concept, quick and intermediate game for sure, and obviously RPOs using tight ends now and those little pop passes and out of the backfield, I think is trending big time. You saw Lincoln Riley do a lot of that at Oklahoma. So it's I think those two things are coming more and more prevalent in not just college football, but I think high school football as well. So now we get into some of this is some running plays that work because of an RSO. So at the top of the screen, you have we're not blocking the down lineman here, so we have three. This is our read, but we just by running a screen, because we run them so much, we've taken four guys out of the play. He attacks the quarterback, and now we're off to the edge. And I was able to, we were able to have six blockers there for five and get to the edge for a play. So that's what RPOs can do for you when you tag it, and that goes back to just averaging that more yards per carry. Same thing here. We're not blocking that down lineman. So now they have five players that we're not blocking, and we have an extra guy, even in 10 personnel, to get through. And where he should have been for the cutback, wasn't.
With your approach to those new things, without giving away the stuff you're developing, I guess, when you look at those, and if it gave you problems during the season, how do you go about, either fixing that, looking how you adjust your defense, maybe finding a new answer? I mean, is there an approach you take to it when you're in the off season before you hit spring ball?
I'm sorry, Keith, is that question for me? No. So We have screens here, and this is just up at the top. And again, we're just taking guys out. We're not blocking them. So this is another way, just from the tag, allows them to have a little bit pause, and we're able to get through. And now we get to the passing portion of it. So his surface read here, we have three, and they really have two over our three receivers. So that's an easy read. That's a surface. He just kind of puts the ball down here and then throws it out because his surface read told him that we had numbers. So his read here, that's a nice, easy throw for him.
Mm-hmm.
Getting to some two-back stuff. Again, surface read, they're basically not covering the flat. We have 1-for-1. It's a nice, easy throw. Even on third down, receivers know to get upfield right now and get it. So that the comfortability that we had to throw that, the quarterback had to throw that on a screen. I'm going to go through these pretty quickly to get to some other stuff, but I just wanted you guys to see this. Same deal here. Surface read, we're lining up quickly in tempo, so we get them misaligned, and the quarterback's able to just read it and we have blockers for 2-for-2 and athletes in space. I think the surface read is something that's huge for the quarterback because he doesn't have to spend time reading down linemen a lot.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you taking some time here. I know we have it, but it seems to be that our schedules get filled up here pretty quickly. But
same thing, surface
best
read.
of luck to you guys at Morningside. I know that's. For you guys, it's looking to build on the success, go and win another one. So best of luck to you in 2020.
So surface read here too. Numbers come down. We're running. We're not blocking that outside linebacker, and he likes to throw. We got 2-for-2, make someone miss. That's just a really nice job by the receiver, but it's really good by the quarterback too to get the ball out there. All right, not a great throw, but get the ball out there. All right, coming back up top here again. Also, just the screen, that surface read.
Thanks, I appreciate those words, Casey.
Now we get to
all right, Coach.
More.
I gotta run to this is my least fun part of the day, corporate meeting. So Yeah. Okay. Let me see. I'll send you an updated link that lets you actually pick times that are open. And yeah, give me a second. I'll send that as soon as we get off the phone. I'll text it to you. All right, man. I'll talk to you later. Okay. Yeah, thanks. Bye.
Keith, we all heard your conversations. All right, so here, just another two-back deal on that surface read. All right, we're reading that outside linebacker right here. He reacts to run. Quarterback here, that's that long action. We're running some sort of outside play, so it's long action in the backfield. I'll get into long action and short action more with the RPO game. But, again, just being able to read it. And, again, we have blockers for blockers, all right?
What?
Again, just more and more like this. And,
what is it?
you know, just these edge players off the boundary.
Oh, I didn't close out of that. I was watching.
Yeah, we heard your conversations.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's all right. So
I saw that the other day. It was so confusing.
again, line it up quickly. We have formation into the boundary. Again, that surface read. They have 2/3, so that's an easy read for the quarterback right there. Just throw it. He spends a little too much time on the handoff there. I wish he just kind of pulled it and threw it. And that's kind of when you get a quarterback to really read it, he can understand it. Getting to a front side, I love running a front side RPO or RSO with motion because it gives the quarterback a clear read. So we've run this play. You just saw it, you know, formation of the boundary where we're running zone to the field and a screen. And now we're going to use motion across. And the quarterback right now knows he's throwing. He's got a safety read, out leverage the defense. So he just catches and throws, and that gives us that front side RPO or RSO. And we really love it with motion because, again, it gives that quarterback a clear read, whether he's going to look to that play side and look to the front side, or he's going to do his post-snap progressions and go through his, you know, give, keep, throw reads. So now we go to the zone quick game with the RPOs. You know, we're not reading D linemen anymore. So our running game, I got caught up a little bit there, you know, just with the two people talking at once. But, you know, our running game will tell the quarterback that we are blocking all the down linemen. So now his reads based on the concept of the RPO will tell him where he's reading. All right. So we've gone back and forth between micromanaging quarterbacks and not. I think you just have to look at who your personnel is and understand. If you have a smart quarterback that understands it, he's good. And so, in you know, early years of developing a quarterback, we gave him very little, you know, kind of freestyle. We wanted to micromanage him as much as we could to give him successful situations. But as he developed, you know, we really had him make all the decisions. So the rules don't change. You know, you're still looking for box count, numbers, grass, all that stuff. And now we're just trying to find the conflict defender. Single man read depending on the pass play. So outside linebackers, safeties, and this is where that triple set now changes because you can't keep the ball then throw past the line of scrimmage. Linemen will be downfield. So that's how we differentiate between an RPO and an RSO. So here we're going to give, pass to run. And really the run is that trouble design where all of a sudden I pulled it because I thought it was there, and now I have to follow the running play. And when in doubt, always hand the ball off. So, you know, now you have all your different route combinations. And again, this is just a similar drawing to the ones earlier where you can have whatever route combinations you want. You just have to find the conflict defender. So if we're running, you know, a slant here, we might be reading the middle linebacker, or if we're running the out there, we might be reading the outside linebacker. And we're going to marry our RPO concepts to our running game and who we're blocking inside so we don't have any free rushers. To a single receiver side, this is where you're mainly going to get to your third level reads. If they, you know, right in this picture you don't, but it could easily have that you know, that covered, you know, split safety look where he's inverting down or the clouded corner to this set as well. But it still doesn't change the surface read for the quarterback, which is nice. So this is just called having a plan, right? So, you know, you see RPOs, you see front side RPOs that are quick. Well, I also want them to understand matchups. So here we do a lot of motioning to get to it, and we know that he likes the matchup on the outside. So our first two clips that we're going to watch is just the quarterback really not going through a progression, but picking a matchup. And on first and second down, we really liked him picking a matchup. So this is a really good, you know, job by him, understanding that on first and second down, we give him a lot of ability to throw the ball down the field. But really, he's the clear player. we're not looking to throw to him every single time. We just caught him flat-footed, and the quarterback really wanted to throw to him. So having your quarterbacks understand that, hey, just because we called an RPO, it's almost like having a pre-snap read to your in your pre-snap area, and just understanding matchups and sometimes getting your guys in space. Same thing here. Quarterback had a plan. He knew that he wanted to throw the ball down the field, so he puts a little pump in there and then throws the ball. I think he chose this pre-snap all the way. And again, it's second down, so first and second down, he has the ability to do this and throw the ball down the field. So giving your quarterback the ability to look to, just some of these, I call it having a plan, and really just understanding your matchups, and because sometimes matchups are better than schemes, right? So, and then obviously we'll always work on it like we started the last one, follow your run scheme. So here he wants to pull to throw, but he gets caught up a little bit, follow the running scheme, right? A lot of times you see young quarterbacks at any level, they just try to escape outside of the pocket one way or another. Follow the running scheme, follow the blockers, because if you run outside, you're going to run into players that aren't blocked. So now RPO scheme, and this is some successful runs right here. He's reading that guy. He goes out to block it, and he should be there to make the play, but because of the quarterback had a really good decision, he was able to hand the ball off and not get greedy with the throw, and we were able to have a successful run play. So I started this with a couple successful run plays. Here we're running motion with a slant in behind it. It took two guys out, the outside linebacker and the safety at the top of the screen. So he just hands the ball off because he's now in his throw window. And again, where those guys probably should have been for the cutback. And again, that goes back to tagging RPOs or RSOs on any run play, because you never know how you're going to manipulate a defense, especially when you're going tempo. Another successful run play here. They have 3 over 3. That linebacker is just a little slow. He's not sure if the ball's handed off or not yet, and that obviously helps the run play. And where he should be there to make the tackle, he's not, and he gets downfield. So I think a lot of these things, just tagging things that have been really successful for our running game. Out of a 2-back set, we're releasing him for a play side RPO. It expands this whole thing out a little bit, where now he can cut it back inside. And again, just tagging something front side or backside that's taken slow to it, and it's helped our running game inside. Here now at Arizona, so this is some of the RPOs we have with the short action RPO. So what I mean by that is inside, anything where the running back's aiming for the A or B gap. So short action plays where he's getting it here. His reads down in the box, it's really easy for him. He has post safety, so this is the guy we're going to read. As soon as he declares inside the box and he has a lane, he pulls and throws. Right, nice route up top. Really stem the defender, comes inside. Really nice ball, and we're able to have a nice play off it. So we're really just taking our run game down for these guys. This is now our read, and he gave us a throw read, so we're off and out. I wish it was a little bit faster there, off of it, but you can see it from the back angle here. It's a little bit faster here. He knows that he's got the pull read, take it and throw. At the top too, come down. There's our read, our conflict with a post safety. Take it and throw. Nice ball. And that was a little bit faster. Nice release. Perfect right on the back hip, so it shields it from the defender. Now we're getting to some more, like I said, of all different levels. It's been at all levels, so it's easy to show film. But this is a nice read. Now we have a double slant in behind it. The running scheme doesn't matter. This is all short action. So this is downhill kind of run play, inside zone, man schemes. Nice ball on the outside. And again, no one follows him. So it's a nice, easy read for the quarterback. Just little things like that, using a sniffer to now hide your RPOs. We have double slants on the back, but I'm basically running what's almost like a screen, RSO, but running it out of an RPO concept. So it's a really nice play. Was a good play for us going down too. Now this is when we screw up on the line here. We don't block him, but you see what can happen with guys who are playing downhill. Nice route up top, RPO. We just wished our offensive lineman had didn't block our read. That was one of the few plays we screwed up on. But the quarterback, is his footwork, gets the ball off nice and quick and avoids the hit. six man, so two back. Now we're here downhill, and now we just run spin at the top. So now we're just trying to run like a little delay out. So now we're really reading this guy at the top. And just again, the S word, whatever the concept was, it's telling him who he's reading. The area that we're throwing the ball is going to tell him who he's reading. So nice spin here, come out and throw. Really nice play. It worked well for us all game. You'll see another one here too. They have 7 in the box. We don't have anybody for him. So that's why you run RPOs. So really nice play, nice spin. Again, that delayed where this guy thinks a slant's coming, so he's protecting the slant. And that's why you can throw the ball outside too. Not a great throw, but nice catch. Again, down here in the red zone out of 10 personnel, out of a tempo play. All right, downhill run play, and now the quarterback pulls to throw inside slant. All right, so these are the basic concepts, but everything's matched up with the running game. So right here, we are blocking all the down linemen. So the quarterback knows he can pull the ball. Sorry, the mouse is stuck. He can pull the ball and still have time to stand up like this in the pocket because he knows if his guy is not blitzing, so his read just kind of stays there. He knows he has time to pull and wait for the receiver to come open because we're blocking all the down line and everybody else there. This is a nice throw. You didn't catch this, but you see how motion with an RPO can come in. We get behind the defense here. It's a really nice ball, but because, again, we're blocking all the down linemen, the quarterback knows he can pull and step up if his read is not coming right now. So it's a really nice job. His read doesn't come. His read goes out, so he knows he's basically becomes pass protection, and he can come out. He also has the ability, which he probably should have, to come down here and take this front side screen. Again, that surface read to the play side. Right now it tells us that we have numbers. Might have been a good play as well. Into the boundary, using that sniffer set to with the slant off the backside. Quarterback's reading the outside linebacker. He kind of gets stuck in no man's land. Nice easy read for him to come outside. And it's a great ball here. This is another great teaching point is when you're running into the boundary with running backs that are running away from you as opposed to, running like a swing route or something where you have to hit the upfield shoulder. This is the right ball to throw him inside so he can catch and get upfield. If he had thrown him outside, it's a gain of 3 and we're, out of bounds. So really nice ball here by the quarterback to kind of throw him open and get him open so we can get yards after the catch. Yeah, another RPO. Now just take it. So you've seen slants, you've seen outs, you've seen some man beaters. Now just taking space and taking grass what they give you. So this is just the hitch route, find grass area, double hitch at the top, and just taking what's there. And then on the very next play, coming back and throwing it to the opposite side, not getting greedy in play calling, just taking what the defense has given us and forcing them to defend those areas. It's just quick, easy hitters, and the quarterback knows right now his read. Doesn't even matter what his read is. Unless this guy comes out right now, he's throwing this football because the safety is so far off the hash and back. So it's a nice, easy pitch and catch for the quarterback there. And again, for us, we would just call it stop. So it's an S word. These guys know that they have certain depths with S words, especially in a red zone. You get down to the red zone, I like running RPOs and then giving the quarterback the run option without throwing it because all these guys are so focused in on defending the 2 running backs. So here it's a nice read where now the 30 is going to turn that block inside. We have a man beater on the outside for RPOs and the quarterback walks in. So especially inside the 5-yard line, running RPO concepts, but having changed one blocker to spin that guy around so the quarterback can get outside of him. And he has the ability, too, to just kick him out if he feels like he can. The quarterback would fit inside of him. This is just a great job by 30 to turn him inside, especially down the goal line. So now we get some of the outside. So for us, we developed a system for the quarterback to look to the outside guys first because a lot of times, especially hash to hash, you get a lot of defenders. So this is 3 guys defending the slant inside there. So we wanted to develop something where the quarterback could look to the outside guy first. And so the word here, I forget what we called it, but the word here tells the quarterback that he's not even recognizing the inside slant. He's just looking to his outside gift throw. And here it'd just be a hitch route. And if it's not there, he's going to hand the ball off. But if he has what he wants, he can throw it. So sometimes you go back, you look on film, and you're like, he should have thrown it to the outside guy because the inside, but they never get to it because it's really hard read. So as a play caller, you give the ability for the quarterback just to zero in on one guy. I think that just by play call alone gives him the confidence of a one-man read. This is long action RPO. So in the backfield, we're running some sort of option, outside running play where we're holding onto the ball, shuffling down the line, shuffling down and giving the running back, more room to run. And now we're just inside pop. It's just really nice play, really nice design. I like it down here on the goal line too, because the quarterback can hide the ball a little bit more. You see right now, the defense can't really tell who has the football. The break happens right as the quarterback pulls the ball. And obviously a really nice throw to make it work. Another long action RPO off of motion, right? And again, using motion with those RPOs, and this was almost like a deeper post. Really nice job by the receiver here to get over the top of him. If he had stayed back, he would have flattened it off, and the quarterback would know. But right now, just a really nice route by the receiver. Really good job by the quarterback to tuck that ball in there. You see how he pulls it from the running back, throws it and over the middle. So motioning with RPOs can definitely be a huge advantage just to put some stress on the defense. Long action. Now, again, this is one of those play designs where we wanted him to look at the outside. So we have these two guys kind of cluttered in the middle here by design. So he looks to the outside slant route. Now our spacing isn't great here. He should be bottom of the numbers and not coming inside, but you can see how it works. He looks to the outside guy, and it's just one of those defenses that we were looking to throw more outside against them to our single wide receiver, to our outside wide receivers. We knew the middle of the field would be a cluttered read for our quarterback, so we wanted to give him a clear window to throw, and that's a really nice job by him. Not a great job on the route. Again, you can do this out of multiple formations. Now we're just taking running back and we're slicing him in the backfield, or just blocking him back to give the defense a little bit different of a read. I really like this. It's a 5-yard pitch and catch, but what it does is it makes one of these two guys slow for the rest of the game. So early in the game, if you can throw these, even though, everyone wants to throw touchdowns, but this 5-yard, 6-yard gain is huge for how these guys are going to defend you for the rest of the game. And so don't get greedy. That's just as good as handing the ball off inside. It's a really nice job by the receiver to get inside and get down, avoid contact. That could have been a big hit, so it's a really nice job by him. Same play, now we're just using to the two-man side where we're going to slice the running back. And again, just give these guys different reads back here with how you're doing backfield action. And there's the slant inside. All right, really nice job here by the quarterback again with that long action, hiding the ball, and then coming up and then making a throw. You get some front side RPOs. This is a front side RPO. We're going out of the backfield, and I think Keith was talking to me before. He might have been talking to the other presenter, but some of the things leaking out of the backfield was in trending, especially at all levels of football, especially college. You've seen on Saturdays, a lot of college teams do this. So we wanted to build one against the team. We knew we were going to get split safety. We have a screen out here to try to get this guy out of the way. We're running a slant backside to try to hold this safety, and what we're trying to do is leak down the middle of the field. We're basically saying we're running stretch with the lead blocker, because if this guy drops with it, they don't have an edge player in the defense. If he doesn't drop with it, well, then we're going to try to throw a back shoulder ball to the running back. We're right down the middle of the field. The ball's a little high. We like it to be a little bit lower, and the next step is better, but that's where we wanted the ball. We didn't want a floater. We didn't want a rainbow throw. We wanted a ball on the line where he had to, with more of the high percentage throw. Same exact play. Again, we have that split safety look. We're running slant on the backside, screen over here to pull these guys down. We want to keep him over there, and now we're just going to read it off him. We're going to hand the ball off if he drops, and if he comes up, we're going to throw the ball. And so it's a really nice read, and this is the better throw, high completion throw, turning him around. Again, I realize if you throw it over the top, it might be a nice, easy pitch and catch, but we can't determine where these guys are going to be. I'd rather have the completion than a knockdown pass or the touchdown off of it. As it is here, we end up going for a touchdown. some of the front side RPOs that we've worked on here, it's just by read. We have the running plays going to the right, but we have the slant coming on the backside. Really nice job by the quarterback to put it in. And really, his pre-snap read is down, so he wants to be able to throw the ball, and it's just nice pitch and catch. So based on the defensive alignment, it's going to determine if we're throwing that pre-snap read. He gives the defense a little something by putting the ball down, but you see, like, that's just to freeze him, right? That's not to entice him. That's just to keep him there, pause, so he can find that window and throw the ball. And same, the different formation now, where now he takes it and pulls. And again, he knows right now he likes it. Based on what he has, all his receiver has to do is win inside. So he likes it. His read is close to the box, so he's expecting some sort of blitz. So he just gives the defense a little taste with the ball handling there. He's able to throw up off the, again, just nice route by the receiver. Not a great ball. We're trying to hit the upfield shoulder. Keith, I see I have some questions. I can't see those questions, though. If I click it, it doesn't come up. Or maybe the chat. So, oh, there we go. Well, 5-minute, 10-minute warning. Here we go. So there you go. There's the back angle. This pre-snap read. He knows that his linebacker is coming down. He's got one-on-one on the outside, so he just gives him a taste, pops up, and makes a throw. I'd like to see him be a little bit faster there, off of the exchange and pop his feet up. He doesn't need to put his head there, but you can see he, been in the offense now going on 3 years. So for him, he knows what he's doing. I'd just like to see him be a little bit faster. Some of our front side RPOs. All right, so this is, again, this having a plan. This is that matchup deal where quarterback's got a matchup to the play side. We have outside hitch here with goes on the outside. He likes the matchup. He saw it pre-snap, so he keeps his eyes there all the time. So by mirroring concepts, they've given the quarterback kind of the ability to pick his side now with the RPO, whether he wants the quick game side or the post game side or the pre-snap side. Post-snap, pre-snap. Here he takes a shot. He could have came underneath. That's where I probably would have went with the ball. But veteran quarterback matchups, give them the benefit of the doubt. And again, sometimes matchups are better than scheme. Front side RPO here. This is a zone beater. We're running a little outside hitch. It's the same play you just saw, just out of 3-by-1. Where we're running basically, we want to screen here, running a go on the outside, and just kind of putting one of their defenders in a bind. Whether it's a corner, who's a clouded corner, or the safety here, it's just a nice, easy throw, nice, easy pitch and catch. And the quarterback's able to put the ball down, get the middle linebacker to come down. If he went out, maybe he would have handed the ball off or gone down to his key 2 read. So it's a really nice concept. I lost my spot there. So I'll open up some Q&A. I have a lot more film I could get through. All right, I think my 50 minutes are up, but so let me see if I can get some questions here. So can you talk about your third level RPOs? A third level RPO is really built on how we want to tag the receivers, and they're a little bit longer routes, and you got to really run it off of outside run plays or long action run plays. And when you're really trying to do it when you're on the boundary or into the boundary on the hash. You have 5-step anything with a single receiver side, or you have an inside fade if you have 2 receivers or 3 receivers inside, and that's when you want to get to those third level reads. Third level really comes when the defense is playing more man-to-man coverage. So I think it's based on defensive design and how you're calling, how you're calling your run plays to it. All your variations after reading the defensive end. So for us, we have, if we're starting 2-by-2, the outside wide receivers are just running basic, fundamental quick screens, fast hands, fast feet. And inside guys, we used to run bubbles, but it was I didn't like when the receiver didn't see what was coming. He didn't know, what the number one receiver was picking up MDM, whether it was inverted safety or the corner came down first, and then he caught the ball and had to make a decision on where to go. So we moved to more of kind of 3 steps like you're blocking for the number one on your screen and then turning around. So they got to see the field in those 3 to 4 steps. And then they knew who was going to come down, or where, at least originally, where their first few steps were going to be after they caught the ball. And he just turns around, the quarterback throws him upfield. For us, that was that was huge. I think I have a clip of that. Let's find it. I'm not sure where that clip is, but I'm happy to send it to you where, the key screen of number 2 is running 3 steps out and then coming back in. And then if we were ever in trips, we just ran the bubble for number 3 because we needed more of the field or we needed the spacing. So that's how we did it. 2 by 2, we ran key 2s. 3 by 1, we ran bubble for number 3, fast hands, fast feet for number 2, fast hands, fast feet for number 1. That's how we did it. And I have a diagram of that I can also send you. Did you have your tag players reduce splits? So the formation would tell them to reduce the split. If we wanted 2 by 2, we just called it squeeze. If we wanted 3 by 1, we'd have bunch or buzz or something that told them it was a different word. And then we ran the same routes out of them where we just taught the different releases. So if they knew they were bunched, we were running a slant, they would take a diamond release first. If they were wide, if they were wide and they couldn't do the 5-step, it was too far of a throw, we cut down. So we created, a difference, a 3-step slant versus a 5-step slant. So the different reductions of splits and, the different variations of where you want on the field to be. And again, going in, we tried to be different every week with our splits. I think really kind of kept the defense off balance and the routes. I think it's the same footwork and fundamentals in the back end. It's the same running plays for the offensive line, but coming down to teaching the wide receivers now, they're not just running the same routes at the same depths anymore. You've got to really work on where they need to cut off their splits, whether they're running an out or a slant. Ooh, a lot of audio. Yes, I'm happy to email the presentation after this. When your quarterback, answer this, when is your quarterback sprinting off the dive key for alley defender versus flipping his hips and throwing the RSO? So our surface read tells us that we want to flip our hips and throw it right now. So that tells us we have numbers, we have graphs. Our screen is there pre-snap. We're going to throw the ball. If that surface read is cloudy or if the surface read isn't there, now we go down to our post-snap read, which is that D tackle that we're reading. So the quarterback kind of looks out, he sees what he has, he likes it, he's going to throw it right now, maybe give the defense a taste by putting the ball down, just flashing and throwing. Otherwise, he's going to ride the running back into the hole and read the down tackle, and that's where our post-snap read comes in. If he takes the running back, I'm now on my keep read to throw, and I get my eyes on that secondary defender after I've kept the ball. If the DN doesn't come upfield at all, well then the RSO RPO game worked because the object of this is to eliminate defenders from the box. The object is to distract the defense. So by the defensive end not coming down, hopefully I've created, I've got my 5 or 6 blocking the 5 or 6 that are attached to the run for the defense. What's your QB's footwork on outside for RPO? So that's where we give, if you're in pistol, it's midline. But if it's outside run, you've got to give them the line. So, and that's what we call it, the line. So the quarterback's got to drop to the side of if the running back is starting on his left and we are running outside on our right, we've got to drop the same foot to the running back to give him the line. And now we drop step and then we shuffle and shuffle. And I don't have a rule on shuffle. Like, you got to shuffle as long as you can until the RPO isn't there. So sometimes the longer you go on a shuffle, it hides the ball and the defense doesn't know where it is, and you let your routes develop. Other times it's drop step and they blur on a blitz, so you pull and throw right now. So I like to give them like a 2 shuffle rule but I would say I'm pretty vanilla on that because sometimes that third shuffle gives them the route combination a chance to develop when they can, especially in the red zone, when you can hide that ball from the defense and there's less field. I think that's when you want to teach that the most. Tail back down the middle of the field, is that off power read or play action? That was a pin pull concept. And we were hoping that they didn't blitz the backside. If they did, that's why we had the slant built in. But you saw the quarterback shuffle with it to try to get himself over. The blitzing linebacker, as we told him, we wanted him to hold on to the ball until he was going to throw it. So be in that exchange as long as possible, because if you pull the ball, now the outside linebacker knows you have it. So stay down in those shuffles and keep the ball inside the running back until you absolutely knew you had the throw or you were going to hand it off, because sometimes quarterbacks pull too fast. And that's why we went with the S words versus our quick game terminology, is because now the receivers can break those routes. Like the S words and the quick game are mirror. Like everything is the same, except for the fact that our S words tell the receivers that they can break their route off based on the defensive lineman, i.e., if they're off coverage, they're going to go to the depths of whatever quick game concept it was. But if you get an outside linebacker that's inside shade that plays you right now, where you can get over the top of them, great. Or you've got to go underneath of them, fine. Usually those sorts of disguises from the defense actually matches up really well in the backfield. So now the quarterback can pull and throw when he sees the receiver breaking. And that's why we differentiate S words and quick game, is so the receivers have that ability where if we called square, it's an inside out and a go and a more on the outside. Well, if that's the out concept, so he's going to do 5-6 yards on an out. Well, square gives him the ability to make it a 1 yard out or a 3 yard out, depending on how the leverage of the defense is being played, man coverage and whatnot. So those are the differences of why we language it differently, because when we call quick game, we want them to be at those depths versus when we call our RPO, RSO game, we want them to have the ability to break it off. If you're in your game plan, if you did not tag an RPO to a run, did you change direction of plays or change the plays on the line to get the look you wanted? Or was it more of a call and run it? It's kind of by game. If we really sometimes like you pull the ball and the run game's there. So we wouldn't, if it happened earlier in the game and our offensive line coach said the running games, we just wouldn't even tag the receivers on a run play. I think now what I've gotten to is not giving the quarterback the tag and still giving the receivers a tag, because now you still could at least pull people out just by them running a certain combination that triggers someone from the defense. Not giving that tag to the quarterback so he thinks that we're just handing the ball off. And I think there's another category for that, or that you can come up with your quarterback signal or however you're signaling in plays, or it's just a give read all the way. I think that's it. Keith?
No, Coach, I appreciate you taking the time. Great presentation here. I apologize at some point. I guess my mic came on, so I apologize if I interrupted. But again, thank you. Our 4 o'clock had to reschedule. He actually sent me a text. He sliced his finger and had to go to the emergency room. So we're going to reschedule Coach Aaron Bamey. But Coach Marinelli, appreciate you taking the time and sharing here today.
I appreciate it. If you guys need anything, I'll put it in the chat right now. I'll send my my email. I gotta get off her. I'll type the John Marinelli.
Yeah, go ahead, type it in there. I'll keep this going till everybody gets a chance to write that down. Then we'll.
So I sent my email. I think it went to the open chat. Hopefully it did. And feel free, guys, to email me. I did this presentation on Huddle. It's just easier for a screen share, but I'm happy to send the presentation and send more. Get on a Zoom call with you guys. I'm happy to do that too. So I appreciate you guys being here. I hope everyone's safe and families are safe, and we'll get through this time together.
Thanks, Coach.